Well, Jason Thomas joins us as well on the broadcast. Jason, welcome. Sunday, a completely different racetrack to what we had yesterday. Just looking at the water out there down the start straight. And Jeff and I said before we came on air live just a few moments ago, it does not look like this racetrack can take too much more.
No, but I think it's going to get a lot more.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that works out. And I was just walking down the start straight here a moment ago, and it's completely saturated. The water's beginning to stand on top of the sand now, and I think we're only in for a worse situation as the day goes along.
Well, here's how the riders will line up then. Of course, Czech Republic finished yesterday in 20th position, so they will get first pick to the line with their riders. Václav Kovar, Peter Polak, and Filip Neugbauer. Then we've got Poland with Tomasz Wysocki, Maciej Wikowski and Simon Staskovic. Lithuania, we've got Jasikonis, but he is not lining up. That's why Lithuania in the B final, because he hurt his foot a couple of days ago and has decided not to race this weekend. Dovydas Karka and Domantas Jadzusas are his teammates. And then we've got Bergersen, Sigurdsson and Reyneson of Iceland, Justin Starling, Jose Rodriguez and Chase Marquier of Puerto Rico. Ireland sees Jason Mirren, Martin Barr and Stewie Edmonds. Portugal with Sandro Pesci, Luis Otero and Hugo Bazaula. Brazil, Fabio Santos, Pedro Hen, Rosa Bueno and Ramilia Alves. Russia, we've got Sever Brulikov, Timo Pershin and Sistislav Pronenko. Ukraine, Roman Morozov, Oleg Krug and Vladimir Tarasov. Japan, we have Nikira Narita, Gota Otsuka and Toshiki Tomita. Finally, Croatia with Luka Kronkovic, Nikola Haranovic and Tia Kalava, with Greece fielding probably the most difficult to pronounce. Maybe they saved them for the last. But Emmanuel Kritikos, Alexandros Georgantas and Andreas Andreu. And a big round of applause and tens all around. That is my favourite part of this whole Motocross Nations experience. Anyway, looking at the riders lining up, does it really matter where we start from? Is that inside still going to be favoured, judging by the amount of water on the track?
I think so. I mean, well, it depends on if there are any water holes, right? If you can just stay in the sand, you're going to get a little bit of drive. But once you hit a big water hole, then you start the hydroplane, that rear tire is just going to start to spin even more than on the sand. So it's hard to say from here. I mean, but that's our camera lens having all of that rain on it. This is what the riders will be facing, and the rider out front may have some water on his goggles in the form of rain, but everyone behind him will have sand mixed in there. So it's going to be difficult to see, and that's why the whole shot is so important. Just in a race like this. Just looking down the start straight there, Filip Neugbauer is going to be lining up in gate number 1. First choice for Czech Republic. He's probably their strongest rider, so it would make sense for him to be down that inside to give them the best opportunity to get that first turn in first position. There's Chase Marquier from Puerto Rico. Riding for Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
riding for them, yeah.
You know what I always notice with mud like this and water, if you're on the outside and you don't get the jump, everyone's going to make a turn to the right, and then all the water goes to the left. It's always going to go flying. As soon as they pivot to the right, that water's going to go left. So if you're going to choose one side or the other, you want to be on the inside just to avoid that spray towards the outside.
And it's not like we had in was it China a couple of weeks ago, where you came off the gate, you had all that room to the right-hand side. It's quite the left-hand side you can, but the left-hand side, unfortunately, points into the stands.
Yeah, and once you get out there and you're hydroplaning, good luck turning back to the right as well. So.
Well, there's a reason why they gave them scoop tires. They double up as paddles.
Right, yeah. You're going to need every bit of it. The dirt is so heavy now, compared to just 12 hours ago.
Yeah, and look at that close shot right there. You could see where, now that no bikes have gone across that area, there's actually a trench of water. There are parts on the track where there's big rain. Look right in the middle of our screen right here.
Rain rut, full of water.
See those ruts? Yeah. But they're full of water. So the first lap, it's going to be really wet in relation to that getting splashed. And then as the race goes on, that will get mixed in a little more, and there'll be some sand in there. But the rider in second on back is definitely going to be at a disadvantage.
And the other thing we have to, I mean, we're talking mechanical here, like motorcycles, but also the start gate is mechanical. I wonder how much water and sand that's going to take as well. Hopefully we're not going to be having false starts today, because we'll be keeping an eye on that, I'm sure. But Neugbauer closest to the camera there for Czech Republic. Rider number 45, he was their open class rider. There he is in gate number 3. The 121 is in there as well of Tomasz Wysocki of Poland.
I believe we finally have the last rider loaded in the gate way off to our right there, right side of the screen.
So the Fly Racing 15-second board, I think, is either up or about to go up. There we go, just a little bit further down the start straight, probably a bit drier down there for everybody to escape. Anyway, turns to 5. It's a 30-minute. In fact, they've, I'm just looking on there, B final, 20 minutes plus 2 laps. So it looks like they may have shortened it by 10 minutes as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. And it is going to be 20 minutes plus 2. But look at the water, look at the spray, and it's everybody through there. It's almost like the first corner at a beach race at Western Supermare with so much spray and water. Goggles are going to be defunct and void before they get to the end of the first lap here. But it is the 78, I think it is, who leads Volodymyr Tarasov.
He almost got stuck going into that turn. That rut on the inside is getting so deep. Look at the rider on the right. Well, that's going to be something that as this race goes on and then eventually we get to the 3 main events, the riders are going to have to really focus on and be careful of is not getting into a rut that where the bottom, Jason, just falls out and the bike gets stuck.
116 getting stuck in there, Alexandros Georgantos of Greece, but it's Tarasov who leads. Václav Kovar was in second. In fact, Wysocki in third, Kovar in second.
Paul, think about this. It is infinitely more difficult right now than when we had the 125 Blue Crew race an hour ago.
Less than, yeah.
I mean, it is massively different. Here you go. That's that same ride I was talking about.
105, Domantas Jacukis of,
oh boy,
the Lithuania.
All those holes that were formed by the 125 Blue Crew race are now full of water.
And I think you've got to kind of ask the question here. We know we talked about it, like, you have the ability to maybe cancel that Blue Crew race, but obviously that has to go ahead because it's a one-make series. But the B final, we could have just said, hey, Czech Republic, you go through based on, just to preserve the track. These guys now have got a 20-minute plus 2-lap race. They need to get cleaned up and get ready to go out for the main event. As you said, Jeff, the good news is you're in the B final. The bad news is you're in the B final because you qualified, you know, but...
I mean, this is the thing, though. So it's easy for us to sit in the broadcast booth and say, okay, let's just cancel the B final.
But they paid a lot of money to be here and everything.
Yeah, but then you take the other 12 teams that would have not made it. Well, right now they have the opportunity. These are the rules, right? And so, but in the interest of preserving the race course, like is essentially what you're getting at. I'm really blown away right now that the course is as bad as it is. Yeah. Because it wasn't that bad for the 125.
No.
I mean,
And it's not been raining hard. It's just been constant drizzle, you know.
Well, I think the track's really reached its saturation point, so it's not absorbing anymore. It's all starting to sit on the top, and that's why the appearance of it's so much worse than maybe it was an hour ago.
And the forecast is for this rain to be more consistent and to be heavier as the day goes on.
Yes, it's only going to get worse. Yeah.
Severyukov down here. So the Russian was closing in on the 78 of Tarasov from Ukraine. So that's going to let him off the hook just a little bit. And here is your race leader, and he's off the side. And he just hits the soft downside on the jump and straight over the bar. So the Ukrainians and the Russians, first and second in the race, they go out, and it's going to be Wysocki who picks up third, is it? Or is that Neugbauer?
It's the 60.
So the 60 of Hugo Bazala of Portugal, right down there on the Sunshine Coast, enjoying his time here in the mud. So Hugo Bazala is your race leader. Second over the line now is Tomasz Wysocki from Poland. We've got riders down, and I mean, is there a threat that this could be, canned? I don't know.
I can't imagine they would stop it without some sort of lightning or something unsafe. But to Jeff's point earlier, it's only forecasted to get worse.
Yeah.
You know, we're sitting here at 11 a.m. local time, and the worst part of the day is yet to arrive. I honestly thought the track would look much better at this point. I know it rained all night, but this is scary how quickly things are deteriorating.
Yeah, and that's a good example right there with our former leader, Tarasov. When he went off the track, the side of the jumps are like melting away, right? And once he got off the side, it's so soft. So it looked flat, but and just completely the soil is so saturated. It's more soupy now than it is sort of that hard-based sand.
Well, here's your race leader, Hugo Vazala. Ryzotski is second. Brilikov Russia is third. Kovar is fourth. Tarasov is fifth. Dovadas Karka 6th. Petrosyan 7th. Santos 8th. Tomita 9th. Stuart Edmonds 10th. Bueno Rosa is Rosa Bueno, then Martin Barr. As it stands right now, Russia are going through with 10 points with a rider in 3rd and 7th. And then you're looking at Poland, Ukraine, Brazil, Czech Republic, and Ireland on 22. And Philip Neubauer parks his bike, so Czech Republic going from bad to worse.
I've raced him quite a bit, and I can't imagine what's going through his head right now. This is not what anybody thought it was going to be like today. So Czech Republic obviously was hoping to get in. They were right on the cusp and running into difficulties.
Well, they missed out by a point yesterday because he made a mistake and one of his other riders made a mistake, and they dropped quite a few positions and they only missed the cut by a point. But now you can see what that has meant. They are swimming quite literally up to their ankles, and that is a left-hander just to our left here, just after the finish line jump. The track crew, if they are going to get this race on later on, and here's the thing, it's going to continue raining. We're on air at 1 o'clock. It's now 11:05 local time, so in another 2 hours, we're going to have rain.
He's stuck. They're both going to be stuck.
It's literally calling for 100% chances of rain throughout the rest of the day.
Yeah, right now the forecast is 80 to 85% rain. We can all see that it's raining, so it is raining. But I guess the forecast is
the worst is yet to come.
Heavier,
that's the scary part.
And normally when they prep the track, there is the 52. Is that Starling? Yes, Justin Starling pushing his bike back.
Still has the goggles on now.
Oh, there's a plus.
Yeah. but that one turn there where we're seeing those riders get stuck, I wonder if after this event, if the organizers and the track
after this
builders,
race,
after this moto, if they're going to be able to
fix the track,
push some soil in there, or scrape something off. I'm not.
You know, that's the tough part, is this being a man-made circuit, they don't have the depth to go down. There's only so much they can scrape off because there's only so much track there, right?
Yeah.
If you're at a man-made track where Majora, where Matterley, they can keep scraping until they get to something dry. We only have so much to work with.
Seba Brilikov here, Russia. He was going past pit lane there. He's in 2nd position, and he was only a 2nd down on Hugo Vazala, and he looks like he's having a pretty good run of this at the moment. There's Bazala. No, it's not. Down on the left-hand side. But here is, well, we saw it. He's got to try and keep that on 2 wheels there, coming over that crest. But the other thing as well is, you know, how much work can they do on the track? Because I walked the track last night as we came off air, and they were fixing the jumps and the rollers, you know, the waves, and leaving the corners with the braking bumps going in and the deep ruts through the corner itself. And obviously now that we have this circuit here, are they going to have to just go around and completely revamp the track, like so it's a flat track heading into race 1, because that will deteriorate anyway?
Yeah, I think taking out some of those rollers, taking out some of the deep spots will help, but I don't know with how many more centimeters, how much more rain are we going to get? I don't know that there is a solution. I think you're just going to be moving water around, moving mud around.
Look at, okay, so I'm going to put this into perspective. So yesterday morning, we had the Yamaha Super Final, the Blue Cruise Super Final, for the 65cc 2-strokes. These are kids that are 11 years or younger. Their fastest lap time
in the morning
was 2 minutes 17 seconds
on a brand new track.
Our leader on a 450 is at a 230.
Yeah.
So they are 13 seconds a lap slower than what the 11 and younger kids on 65s were. Yeah, well,
Seba Brilikov just at the front of this group here, number 94. He is now leading away. His first lap or second lap was a 2:26. So it gives you some indication. Normally you would expect the 65s to be way slower, and they are, but you know, these conditions are not easy. But Bazala now in 2nd. Thomas Wysocki is in 3rd.
Yeah,
Václav Kovar 4th, and Timur Petrosyan is in 5th. Stewie Edmonds of Ireland 6th.
Yeah, so and like Jason was alluding to, is that if you were at a you know, a traditional motocross course, and that one turn where it seems to be dropping away, you could, you know, the organizers could make an executive decision, say, okay, we're gonna cut this part of the track off, and we're gonna run you across the grass or through, you know, a spectator area or something. Fine.
Endless options, right?
Yeah, there'd be other options here because they put the sand down just as wide as the track, and they basically make the track, you know, this is a man-made course. There's no place like that to go unless you get onto some pavement.
Let's go asphalt.
Well, let's just look at the lap times yesterday. I mean, the 65 analogy was good, but in the MXGP qualifying race yesterday, which Severbriukov, our race leader, was in, Jorge Prado, 1:45.947 and 2:26.230 now. So, you know, that is...
that's 30,
it's 40 seconds.
45 seconds a lap difference.
I think the most critical point of all of this is we have another, let's say, 5 to 6 hours of competing left to go today, and we're just getting started on what the skies may open up with.
Yeah, so it'd be, I mean, it's going to keep raining, and then after this, there will be 3 30+ 2 lap races, so another 120 minutes.
Take this wave section here. Let's say you could take out 2 of those waves at the beginning, and there's 7 waves there, and the other section out the back, there are 7 waves there. You could take a couple out here, a couple out there, because they need that drive out of the corner. They can't get that at the moment. Okay, that's part of the problem. So to keep people mobile, come out of the turn, take away a couple of waves, but you know, that allows riders to at least get up onto the rear wheel, the fat part of the tire, to get through the next 3 or 4, and then that'll be that. But there's one thing that this crew will do, though, is do their best to get this track in as rideable position as possible, and they will work right up, you know, so they've got a heavy 2 hours ahead of them. As soon as the checkered flag goes out, they'll get the first machine on track. And anyway, here is Brilikov. He continues to lead, but loses the front there, though. Just goes to show how hard it is on top still.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot of different surfaces. It's got a hard base, but it's got water mixed in with soft sand now. And I think that's going to be part of the story too, is it's not just going to be heavy, it's going to turn into water. You guys are going to start hydroplaning, and it's going to be really difficult to predict whether it's hard, soft, and different. What's underneath the water? You know, when they hit the water, is it soft underneath that?
Yeah, like how deep is it? Is
you see
it
the hole?
inches,
It's
there?
That was a deep hole.
Right, he can't tell that that's a deep hole there, you know.
And now he's struggling. There's your race leader.
That's going to be a challenging part, too.
He almost went under there in the corner.
60's your new race leader. That was a pass.
He just went by him. Vazali, he was only 5 seconds ahead of him.
Go back to the front. Yeah, this is going to be one of those races where when you come off the track, and if you're the country that qualifies, it's going to be congratulations. You just earned a chance to torture yourself the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, Bazala on the other side of the jump, and he's off. No, he's not off the side of the track, just the way that we went around the corner. But I tell you what, one rider who won't be missing this, Tony Cairoli, who became a dad yesterday, and
yeah, so congratulations to
new
Jill.
boy.
Yeah,
Chase.
Boy, what's
Chase Ben?
Chase Ben. Yeah.
Congratulations, Tony and Jill.
Yeah. Of course, Benito Ben is his father, late father, so he's got a personal memento in there as well.
Yeah.
But obviously the ladies will say, well, go chase Ben.
Strange to
when
have
he's a little bit older.
All right,
Strange to have
here we
motocross
go.
nations without Tony here.
Yeah. There's the 118, I think that, what is it, 118?
Well, the 117.
No, 116 that is actually.
Andrew was cheering on the 116 of Gorgantis. I love that. They were the last to line up in this. Currently, they are running second to last in this, but they're still out there
Russia,
cheering on
Sever
this
down
team.
again. That bike was steaming a moment ago, but obviously just trying to fire it up. Water in the electrics, guys.
Electric start, not
So Hugo
not
Bazala.
firing.
Wonder how much of a thing this will have. So Russia were on 6. With, 8, sorry, with a second and a 6 just a moment ago. Where is their third rider? 22nd, 23rd. So Russia are fielding at the moment Brilikov, Petroshin, and Pronenko. So Pronenko is in 22nd. They're in danger of not qualifying if Brilikov can't get that bike going. And Poland will go through on 12, 13 if that's the case.
You know, guys, we've all ridden in, seems like every condition possible between the three of us, right? Thousands and thousands of races.
Ireland are on the verge of qualifying, because if I'm just looking, Brilikov Brilikov is dropping down the leaderboard. He hasn't got that Yamaha fired up. We've got Mazzala leading the way, Wazocki second, Edmonds up to third, Kovar 4, Petrosian 5, Brilikov, Santos, Rosa Bueno, and then Martin Barr. So they've got 2 guys from Ireland. They're going to be on 12. Russia on 11 at the moment. And they've got a rider that's struggling to get his bike going. So it could be that Ireland all of a sudden go through. They've taken over the top spot on 9 with their 2 riders coming over. Martin Barr and Stuart Edmonds, 6th and 3rd. Poland are not going to qualify. They're on 10 with a rider in 2nd and 8th, Wazocki and Seskivajevic. So what a turnaround. The perennial B finalists, specialists, are looking to go through
They
again.
always find a way in.
Well, they've got the lucky leprechauns out in tow, full force again.
Watch this here.
37.
37, Mira from Ireland.
Yeah.
Watch what happens right here.
Just tips over.
Yeah, and at the moment, they don't need his score, so they won't be too concerned with that. But, yeah, with 5 minutes almost near to go, it's you just, from lap to lap, we're seeing wild changes.
Can you guys ever remember riding in anything quite like this?
The only time I can remember is Fox Hills. 98. Yeah, 98.
Mount Morris, 97.
Oh, what about Nîmes in Belgium in 97 Nations?
It didn't rain. They just watered it this much. This is literally what the first moto looked like.
You're not still going on about that, AJ?
No, I'm
Do you feel
way
hard
over
done
the
by?
therapy has helped. I'm past it.
4 minutes plus 2 to go. There's Jay Mira for Ireland. He's picked himself up. He's in around 15th place. They might still need that position, you know, but at the moment he's hoping that Edmonds and Barr, who is now down to 7th place according to our split time, so they will go from 9 to 10 if that's the case, tied with Poland, who you'd have to expect that the 3rd place finish is going to be the one that sorts them out. But this is going to be the longest 4 minutes of their 4 minutes plus an extra 5 minutes of lap times.
Paul, you mentioned earlier, like the thought of, well, what if they just said, okay, let's cancel this race and
just go straight to the main event.
Just pick the team that was 20th in qualifying and put them through and all this. But, I mean, think about it. These teams are out there. They're going for it right now. They're trying to earn their spot in the 73rd Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. And, I mean, let's face it, as bad as the conditions are, this is how we're built as racers. All these teams have put a lot of effort into being here, and they're trying to earn their spot right now.
Exactly.
That's quite the accomplishment.
And then we look at that. Czech Republic missed the cut by a point yesterday. South Africa went through in 32nd and 19th with 32 points. Czech Republic 33. Ireland were 25th. So 5 positions behind on 42. So, you know, they have their opportunity again to go to the top of the B final standings and pull off the result here to get them into the race. But it comes at a cost. Yes, it's 10 minutes shorter, but gives the mechanics 10 minutes longer to prepare the bike. But congratulations, you made the B final.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Mira down again.
Can you imagine what the average person, if you turn on your television?
This is turn 1.
Yeah, let's see right here. It gets, oh, wow, it gets really sideways. Uh-oh, balance is off.
And actually, they might need to take that out there. You know that first turn there? Poland have gone ahead, as we said. Look, a 2nd and an 8th and a 7th and a 3rd. So not done yet for Ireland.
Can you imagine what the average person that flips through the television channels and this comes on, and they're, you know, if this is the first time that you've seen motocross racing, you're like, what is wrong with these people?
The first thing that comes to mind is they would have no idea how difficult conditions like this would be. It looks so simple on TV, especially to the average fan. To even get around the track at this point is so incredibly difficult.
2nd place rider here, Tomasz Wazocki, on the 121 for Poland. His score at the moment is going to get Poland qualified. 2nd, his teammate Simon Staskovic is in 8th place, now showing up to 7th actually, so they might be clear winners here.
Hey, we have this sport at home that's called swamp buggy racing. I know Jason's seen it. So it's deep swamps, and they have these like specially built
wheels. I've seen it.
Yeah. So you've seen it. This is swamp bike racing now. This is we're just inventing a new category. Yeah.
Those paddle tires working a treat and some down the start straight.
Look at the water on the inside.
Yeah.
So you don't want to go off. You don't want to go off there, and that's where.
This is now the penultimate corner, just outside our booth here.
And I would imagine that because of laying the sand down and building the track, all of the natural drainage that would have been built into this road course for F1,
it's all interrupted
MotoGP,
Yeah.
all of that is now blocked, right?
Yeah.
So in those certain areas, and maybe that's why that corner way at the end, which essentially is the third corner on the course, why that corner is so saturated, that water just must not be able to go.
A lot of times with these a circuit like this, they don't build their drainage to handle dirt, right? So if you start to clog those drains with soil instead of water, it's not what they were designed for. So you start to get clogging. And
just looking at Wysotsky's, he's got the 2 towels hanging out the back of his pants there, obviously just in case he goes down and he can wipe his hands clean. Look how saturated and wet and muddy they are.
I don't think that's going to work at this point.
Not really going to work.
I think when you're at a track that has a lot of clay in it, you need to wipe your hands clean. But I think with this sand, to me, that seems like it's so wet, and that sand could just wash off.
And everything's just water at this point. They've been splashed by 100 puddles at this point.
Hugo Basala continues to lead. He's 40 seconds clear of Wysotsky here, who's in second place. Edmonds is third for Ireland. Kovar is fourth. Fifth is Petrosyan. 6, Tarasov. Staskovic is 7. Bar 8. Santos 9. And Toshika Tomita is in 10th place. Poland are going through at the moment on 9 with their riders 2nd and 7th. Their third rider is in, 12th place? So Wikowski. And then Ireland on 11 with an 8th and a 3rd. Bar and Edmonds. So they led for, about a lap or 2. And then they tied with Poland. And now they've dropped 2 points behind the qualifying nation here, Poland, who will take the last spot. Gate number 20. Well, 20 and 40, you would assume, in the race.
Still a lot of racing to go. You wonder if, as we move closer to the 73rd Motocross of Nations finals, does this equalize everything for the top teams and top riders that are here? I mean, does it?
I think it takes
variables in. Does it?
It takes the predictability out. Yeah, I think it takes all of the predictability where the Netherlands are the best sand riders and Belgium's going to be strong and the U.S. had a good day. All that's out the window because now you have mechanical failures are going to be likely. Yeah. You have first-turn pileups. You have vision issues. You have all these things that countries that weren't really even in the running are now like, well, we have a chance. Yeah. Everything's up for grabs now.
Getting stuck. So this next turn, after this iPhone, so this is one of those areas where this turn is so heavily saturated.
But it's slightly banked to the outside, so the water just then collects. Yeah. It runs down and collects.
As you were saying, with Nathan Watson, these are conditions he's comfortable with. We've seen Sean Simpson win a moto at this event in conditions similar to this. So a team like GB comes back. I just think the countries that maybe didn't feel comfortable yesterday or weren't confident, now they understand that mud is equalizer, as you said. Everybody is drawn back to the middle, and the speed, that high-end elite level speed, is now irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, I think throughout my career, the mud races, rain races that I had the most success, I think a lot of it had to do with my attitude. Like, I don't care what the conditions are. Yeah. I'm here to win this thing. Yeah. That sort of deal. And if you're in your pit area right now going, oh, I can't believe it's raining. Oh, this is a mess. Certainly doesn't seem like the right attitude.
Ireland are back in it. They've gone from 11 to 10. So Martin Barr has obviously found a position. He's gone from 9th to 8th. Edmonds up into 2nd place. But unfortunately for him, he's 44 seconds down with about a lap and a bit to go on your race leader, Hugo Basala. So they need 2 more positions, or 1 position to go through.
But it's right there. So Poland has a 3rd and a 7th. Ireland has an 8th and a 2nd. So those positions are right next to each other. Any mistake?
Well, this has been fluid every lap. It's been changing a few points every lap.
Yeah, well, Edmonds has gone through on Wysotsky, so that's your 2nd and 3rd, Ireland and Poland. Martin Barr and Staskovic, 7 and 8. What's their gap? 6 seconds.
Well, and think about this, guys. So the technical part of riding this, we're so conditioned to finding a rut, dropping down in the rut, and using that. Now it's almost like you have to change your instincts, especially in that turn, to say, okay, don't go in the rut, try to go in the high area, which is so contradictory to what we train ourselves and our skills to be throughout our whole careers.
Well, there's Jay Mira.
one thing you had mentioned, Jeff, as far as setting yourself up to succeed on a day like today, and watching your career as it went, you did the right things. You would get the start, right? You would put yourself in a position where you didn't have to battle through and have poor vision and battle forward. You would always get the whole shot in a muddy race, always, and I'm sure you put a big emphasis on that. But I think that's going to be a theme throughout the day, is who can put themselves in positions to succeed across 3 motos. Get the start, don't get in the first turn pile up. And we're still seeing these countries. Now we see Ireland back to the front again. So this is
because of that second place. It has to be because of that second place. So Ireland on top, Poland on. So Ireland 10, Poland 10, 8 and 2, 3 and 7. It has to be because of that second place for Ireland. As we go into the final lap, Hugo Barzal already halfway around this lap, past sector 2. Edmonds
there goes the goggles.
Is closing in by about a second, but we already said like 44, 45 seconds is already going to be too much. Wysotsky is in third, so he's putting himself some distance between the threat that is. No, Poland are back on top. So we've lost Martin Barr down to 9th now. All of a sudden, Poland back on top here.
And Martin Barr's teammate, who we were just watching there, Jason Mira, take his goggles off. He's riding the GP division, and he's well down the 13th, 14th now. So that's not going to work.
So here's Wysotsky then. He is in third place. Is it going to be enough to get Poland through in this Motocross of Nations here at Assen? He's got to keep it on 2 wheels. That is the big ask. He's got this chicane here, goes right, left, and then right, takes the riders back down the start straight area.
And they'll have such a small amount of time, whichever team goes through, to the riders that are in the first race, which will be the MX2 and the MX.
Normally MX2, MXGP, MXGP, MX2, then MX2. Oh, there's another scenario we need to talk about as well during the live broadcast for the 3 races. How your races stack up. MXGP get time between race 1 and race 3. Race 1 and 2, you've got the MX2 guys in there doing back-to-back races. And then the open class boys doing back-to-back races, race 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, I think, for the riders.
Well, Barzal's won the race.
Yeah.
Didn't see him cross the line.
Congratulations. All right.
I think for the riders, it's going to be, difficult. They're going to be dirty, tired. But for the teams and the mechanics, what a monumental task to make sure that nothing comes apart and you have a motorcycle that can handle conditions like this twice.
Edmonds is about to cross the line any moment now. He has to be. Just outside of here, just before the final corner. That is horrendous, that turn. So Edmonds over the line. Wysotsky goes through in third. And Martin Barr, if he finds his way past Simon Staskovic, Sever Brylikov, who managed to get back on track, then obviously Ireland will go through. But it's Poland at the moment. We are waiting for Kovar is over the line. Vladimir Tarasov, our early race leader, he goes through in 5th place. Timur Petroshin goes through in 6th. Staskovic and Brylikov and Martin Barr will at least be 9th place. That's not going to be enough. Poland will go through and they will qualify for the B final. So it will be the 1-2-1 Thomas Wysotsky, who it will be that probably talks to Lisa Leyland down there in the holding area. But I'm just watching the guys come out of the final corner in front of us, and that is a slow run. Oh, it's just after the finish line, actually, yeah. So it is quite deep, though. We did say, didn't we, this left-hander in front of us here is very, very tricky, and there's some horrible dirt in there. There's the 123 of Staskovic.
Well, I'd like to applaud Team Poland for making it through in such a difficult B final. I mean, nobody wants to be there, but also the rest of the teams and riders for going out there and putting on that show and giving it their best effort. It was really cool to see the Greek riders out there cheering each other on, even though they were 12th out of 13th in this event. It showed great spirit of what the Motocross of Nations is all about. Well, I've got to run, boys. I've got more work to do. I will see you guys for the first main.
No worries. See you later. Thanks, Jeff, for now. And we are getting ready to speak to Thomas Wysotsky, who came home 3rd in that one, and it was enough to get Poland through. Here's Lisa with him.
Congratulations to you and Team Poland. A very difficult B final there, but I think it's sort of the first time you guys have qualified, hasn't it?
Yes, that's right. We qualified for the first time I think in the Polish history, maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago we qualified, but I don't know. It's my 6th time on the Motocross of Nations, so I'm very happy. Yesterday I crashed in the quali race and we can qualify yesterday, but yeah, I crashed and we lost like 3 points, so I'm very happy. Thanks to my teammates for the hard job on this in this condition. So we have to make 2 more races. So yeah, cheers for us. Thank you.
Good luck to you and Team Poland. Thank you.
What a dramatic B final, as always. But Poland do go through, with Wysocki coming home in 3rd and Saskiewicz coming home in 7th place to pull them through on 10 points. Commiserations for Ireland. They were in, they were out, they were in, they were out. But this year, not to be for Martin Barr, Stewie Edmonds and Jay Mira. But what did you make of that race? Oh, here's the official confirmation. You see riders still trying to push their bikes out of the gloop here in Assen.
Well, I'm doing a little better than that gentleman at the moment, so I'm thankful for that. But man, what a torturous race! And as he said there, they've qualified. Now they've got to go do all this over again times 2. So it's congratulations, and then you settle into the reality of what's still ahead of you as well.
Well, Poland went through in the 3rd and the 7th. Ireland just missing out, and then Russia, as you see there. So congratulations to Poland. And that is a long push home. Right, we will be back at 1 o'clock. So 1.5 hours from now, hopefully the track crews can get some move on the track here, move some dirt, take a look at some of the best moments from that B final. But just looking at the machines going out on the track, doing their stuff, I'm not sure what they can do, but they will try and do it. But while we watch the best moments here, Jason, it is going to be a hard hour and a half or so.